Oh, hell.
Ugh.
What the heck happened there? Oh my goodness. What is that?
He doesn't have any bullet holes in him. His wife
Years
didn't
and
get
years
the
of therapy for everybody else. That's what this is.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Speaking of therapy, it's time to start our daily session, our weekly session. Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Primary Arms. How's everybody doing?
Hey,
Doing good.
So what's everybody up to? Sharenda?
I just got back from camping this weekend and getting wilderness first aid certified. So if there's an accident in the woods, I can now carry people out on man-made stretchers. You know, basic stuff that I should have already known but didn't. Boy Scout stuff.
No. In the woods, real first aid, you just shoot them and make sure they die quicker. That's true woods first aid. Come on.
you alive? You alive?
I mean,
Boom.
there's always weakest links, but well, and just playing around with I'm getting ready for whitetail season and pheasant season and doves and anything with wing season, and my freezer's empty. So I didn't went into the savage mode.
Yeah.
Season. Okay.
Yeah, trying to readjust to my work life because we have to go back into the office every so often, and I have a couple family members that I have to take care of. So life's pretty erratic right now, but I'm still managing to get my fun.
You're doing better than I am, so.
You have to. It's like, forget everybody. I need a day. Sometimes you have to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Idaho Rogers, USMC pretty much nailed it. He says, "What's up, fine folks?" And Mike. But and DWD37 nailed it exactly what I'm talking about. The old snake bite story. Sorry, buddy. You're gonna die. I ain't sucking that out. So anyway. So Sharenda's been busy. Nick?
Not too much. Just went on a small little weekend vacation down to Branson with the family. Went to a couple of military stores. Didn't really buy anything. Bought a couple things, nothing, just some small rolls of some items to sell. Getting ready for some events coming up. Was trying to get a video done this last weekend, but just ran out of time to get it done to post on the channel. Hopefully I'll get that done this week or next week. Just busy with all sorts of other stuff going on. Work's getting crazy with the projects at work and then hunting season. Don't know when I'm gonna have time to go out, but gonna try to make time.
Hey, Sharenda.
Yes.
What's that box you're playing with in the background? Since you didn't mention it, I'm gonna make you mention it. What's that?
So that, what's
that?
Is the RCBS. Let me move my hand off of it. Sorry.
Pro
Trucker
7.
7. A progressive green loader. And no, it's not mine. It was given to the Wilderness Organization from RCBS. So I've been tasked with assembling it and then playing around with it. And I'm also trying to see if I can sweet talk them into letting me come for a tour. And then we're getting ready to start doing some women reloading classes now that, the shutdown's not a thing and all that good stuff.
Right.
So
I can
we're
see
on
you
our way
really
there
broken
2
up
years
about
later.
it. I can see you're really broken up about it, Sharenda, having to test out a new press.
Oh gosh, it's just going to be taking up so much space. here on my bench. I'm gonna have to buy another personal bench, and then I got to figure out something for the organization to use for traveling to different venues with it. So
Actually, I just found something for you.
you did?
So that Lee reloading stand, I put the chat, the link in the private chat.
Hmm.
But first off, oh my God, has that thing gotten expensive? It's $150 now. It used to be like 60, and they
Yeah,
haven't
it
changed
started
the dang
creeping when I
thing on it.
started reloading.
Yeah, and they haven't changed the dang thing on it, so I'm not
Mm-mm.
sure. I know stuff's gone up, but not that much. So one of the other things we've suggested in the past is welding stands or bench grinder stands.
Welding
Uh,
stands or what?
bench grinder stands. So Amazon, I just found one. It's $40.45 plus tax, title, license, blah blah blah, the rest of that crap. I don't know if it's on Prime or not, but I'll put the link in the private chat. But it's a 4-leg bench grinder stand. So you literally just make your holes for the press on the top, and away you go.
Okay.
It looks like it's got a wood top.
How
So
much
that would
was it
work.
on Amazon, Mike?
$40.45.
Harbor Freight's got the 4-legged bench grinder stand for $33 right now.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
really?
Yep,
Yep.
Can you drop me that link too?
I can do that.
Now, if you
I
really want
appreciate
fancy, you could get the Frankfurt Arsenal Platinum Series reloading stand, which is a whole $170 at Cabela's. But yeah, that's
Yeah, you got to keep in mind that a not-for-profit organization is buying this.
exactly. That's why we're looking for stuff on the cheap.
Yes. Or if the not-for-profit can't buy it, it's got to come out of my pocket as a donation.
I know that feeling. Many of the things that are around me were out-of-pocket donations before we were blessed enough to have Patreons and the such. So,
Oh, so yeah, it looks like both of these may actually work, and I'm sure I can sweet talk somebody here to donate me a piece of wood for this.
well,
Well,
I don't know about the Harbor Freight one, but I know the Amazon one does have a piece of wood on the top.
Yeah.
well, I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking potentially, depending on how the setup is on that one from Harbor Freight, you
Yeah.
could potentially get it and drill holes out and have it set up that you could run any press on there.
Yeah, that would be
Using the
good too,
inline-
because
yeah.
I got a single stage here for the organization as well, the Rock Chucker. But then I've collected a few leads that I want to start playing with too.
Well, I'm wondering, like the inline fabrication quick mounts. Have you ever seen those?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have one.
It's possible you could potentially retrofit that top of that stand to fit that. Potential. I haven't seen. I need to go look. I got to go for it this week anyway, so I might take a look.
Yeah,
at
it
ours.
looks like either way. So either one of those, and the Harbor Freight's probably a little cheaper to get, and you're not going to probably have to pay shipping because it looks like Amazon you'd have to pay shipping for.
Even
that
with the Prime.
does not look like it's Prime.
Yeah, it's not. And Harbor Freight's just literally a 7-minute drive for me too.
And who doesn't love going to Harbor Freight? Come on.
think
I
we all
don't,
do.
because Harbor Freight will have you $2 and $5 and $10 and $50 on your damn debit card to death.
Well, that's why you take a cart when you walk in the door, and you
No,
spend
I
time to
take
go
cash.
up and down every single aisle to make sure you didn't miss something you might need someday.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, they're
Chris?
getting. Oh yeah.
Right, Nick? Right, Paul?
Even if you don't need it.
That's right. Come on now, Sharinda.
Well, they're
Like
getting
Costco.
so good at Harbor Freight. They're carrying the Gold Zero and the Jackals, those portable battery boxes
Yes, they are.
at Harbor Freight. Which for Harbor Freight to carry that's pretty crazy. And I think they're like $150, $200 cheaper than Amazon on those a lot of times.
Road trip.
Yeah, Mike, don't post this until after I go buy a couple, because every time y'all mention something's cheaper or on sale, you damn reloaders gonna buy all the stuff up.
Dude, we're like so far behind on posting audio podcasts, it's not even funny. So you're good. You got like a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I did want to say thank you because we did pick up a new Patreon this week. So
Awesome.
say thank you to the person, and Ezekiel, thank you very much for joining the Patreon group. So give a shout out to Ezekiel. Thank you. Hopefully it's not like 4 months down the road before. Dang, Shrenda, you're loud. If you're going to do an unboxing, take your camera over there and let's do an unboxing. Come on.
Oh, okay.
It is a reloading podcast. It is a press. You know, we can do an unboxing on that bad boy.
Can you see it? I need to come closer.
Boom. There you go. All right. So this is the kit. Keep in mind. So
What's
in
the
there?
kit.
What's in there?
I don't know. Let's see. Brackets.
Nice. By the way, Chris, your brother from Maine said hi.
Yeah, I saw that.
I almost feel like this may be the, I don't know the technical name for it, but for the tool.
That's the powder measure.
Powder measure?
That's the drum for the powder measure.
Yep. Judging by the look.
Oh, and I already pulled these out.
Well, you can throw those away. You don't need instructions.
No, I'm not throwing those away.
Okay, she's got a tool head.
Yep. Powder thrower.
Powder thrower.
It's so pretty.
And look at that big hole in the middle.
Yeah.
I said, look at that big hole in the middle.
See the big hole?
Yeah, that's where the one part.
Yeah,
I see it now.
That's where the, what do you call it, goes.
Spudman76 says, careful, don't drop that press on your toes or you'll be dancing.
Two.
Primer two.
Okay. Handle. Oh, something to lever it over. Either that or else she can use it as a baton.
Or an attitude adjuster.
Yep.
Hey, Raggle Fraggle, welcome back. So, she is unboxing the Pro Trucker 7 for those of you who are listening to this as an audio podcast. It's a big box, and she's trying to keep the outer box in good shape while she's peeling everything off. And here she's on the main part of the handle.
She needs 3 men and a boy to help get that out.
I see that.
Look at that big bad beast.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that bench grinder mount will work great for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Heck yeah, that'll work great.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Oh, I got
Don't let that go.
It's not no fall through.
No, I'm talking about the press.
Oh, I was gonna do that.
Don't let that go.
Yeah, I have guys for 9mm. They ship those too, and oh wait.
Oop, more boxes. Put that anywhere.
Accessory plate. I asked for an extra powder dropper for them.
Nice. Oh, throw that away.
Oh no, this is fun to whack-a-mole. I thought this would be kind of good to sell the that Frankfurt Arsenal puller. Like, ladies, if you have this, you'll probably want to get this.
You definitely want
these are
No, see, you gotta get them to give you this, Brenda. Shredder. You gotta get them to give you this.
There you go.
This is what you need them to give you.
Manual.
Well, I might have to buy that because they gave me enough for them.
Oh, you got
nice.
What? Rangemaster 2000 electronic scale. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. What you got there?
9mm dies. Oh, carbide.
Nice. What the fancy.
And
she got a haul there, guys.
Yeah, she did.
You know. Oh my god.
We got there. Oh, Automatic priming tool.
Priming tool. Yeah.
That's the one you got minus the extra.
Right.
And a hand primer. Nice.
Oh, wow.
I asked for that.
And a powder tricker,
And a
too.
powder tricker,
Nice.
too.
Okay, Sharenda, you need to get me hooked up with RCBS.
Yeah, but see, remember, this isn't for her. This is for the nonprofit.
This is not for me. This is for Wilderness, and I was the one that was voluntold to assemble it.
Hey, Nick.
So you don't need the powder measure stand and and that hand priming tool or the bench mounted priming tool, because that all goes, that all works on the press. So you're going to bring the press out and have all these other objects. You just loading up your bench there.
Well, we got the other options for in case if we camp and we don't take the big one and we want to play around while we're at camp hand loading. It's for future projects.
So, hey, if a company wants to give you free reloading equipment, you take that running, because nobody gives away anything for free in this part of the firearms industry.
And she's got $1,600 to $2,000 worth of junk there, guys.
Oh, wait.
Thank you, RCBS, for helping promote women in reloading.
Yeah.
And this too.
Oh, a single stage press.
Well, see, now that explains all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Which press was that? Is that the Summit?
Oh, wait. There's more.
She's turning into a ShamWow commercial. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
Hey, Sharenda, is that the Summit?
Huh?
That press that you just brought up, was that the Summit?
No,
that's the Rebel.
The Rebel? Okay.
Yep.
That's their new one.
That's which I'm actually kind of shocked they sent that one, because the Rock Chucker I think is a little less in value, and I think that one costs a little bit more.
Well, they're pushing that one because it's their new press, single stage press.
So. Oh, okay. I was like, they could have sent a cheaper one.
And they're not technically making the Rock Chucker anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, that one will get used.
Well, the Summit was supposed to replace a Rock Chucker, but it can't. So now the Rebel is their next shot to try and replace the Rock Chucker.
The Summit has nowhere near the leverage to what a Rock Chucker's got.
Nope.
My Summit is got a 2-inch ram, but it's designed basically for precision seating everything.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Rebel doesn't have the bushing insert that you can take out and use the large dies. If I'm not mistaken.
I haven't opened that one. I don't plan on opening that one.
So,
but I thought that was neat. But as soon as I put it together, it's got to go to storage.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome that they. It's pretty awesome that they stepped up like that to help out. I don't think you've talked about your nonprofit for a while. So why don't you give a quick rundown, since you kind of showed that this is all going for that.
Okay. The organization that I am one of 4 founding members of, and we've now forced a 5th, it's called Wilderness, and it is a 501c3, and our focus is to get women and youth in the outdoors. But what makes us different from some of the other organizations is we're educational and hands-on. So you guys know I like to hunt. Well, when I hunt, no one just puts a gun in my hand and send me out into the field and I sit with someone. We partner up with the conservation park rangers. I'm sorry. Game wardens. I'm thinking of something else. The game wardens, we have them come out and talk to about rules and regulations. You get to ask all your dumbass questions because it's judgment free. And we want you to ask those dumbass questions ahead of time, so you're not getting asked, why'd you do that dumbass questions, and you're in trouble. We also have biologists come out and talk to you about species, habitat. We do it like a 2-part series where you go out and you scout, identification, and then we take you out on a hunt and we have someone hold your hand while you're doing it. And then once you harvest, we do field to table. But what we do is expand on that. So once you get the educational classroom experience, Then we meet up later on another time and we just go and do it without a structured control environment. So you get outfitter and then you get public land. We also focus on using public land because, unlike some people, I can't afford $1,800 to go to an outfitter. But we also explain the difference between using an outfitter, public land. Something else that we do is not always geared towards hunting, but camping, just any, you name it, we'll do it. We even tell women now, ask us for something. We'll try to make it happen. Just recently, we did a cave crawl. It's not my thing, but since I'm always asking women to come out and do things that I'm interested in, most I could do is go show support to crawl around in a cave. And I actually enjoyed it. So now we have a network of women that, you know, it's nothing for me to get a group chat now and say, hey, what are you doing Saturday? You want to go dove hunting? And we just do it. And so the problem that we're having now is that the men are like, can we go with y'all?
No.
So we're either no or, you know, come on down.
Tell them to start their own group.
Yeah, they have their own groups.
Well,
And then I've been working on reaching out to other organizations and pointing out, because they're like, well, how can we get more people to, from a city aspect or minorities to come out and learn how to do whatever. And I'm telling them, okay, so you need to go to the city. And I have to, you know, I've been explaining to some organizations that I'm not going to drive 2 hours out to the middle of nowhere to learn how to hunt. Do you realize the stereotypes and that we have about those situations? I was like, but if you come and you invite me and I get a feel for your personality, then I'll be tempted to come. So that's been helping with outreach here. Also, I'm the one where now people are like, hey, can you call this company and ask them why don't they do this? Because I don't care. I just want to know. So that's why I get product reviews, or some companies are starting to see that if they send products to organizations such as ours, we're going to put them in women's hands and then we're going to buy the stuff. So that sums it up in a nutshell. Most of it is just fun though. Or, you know, weird things like this past weekend, I organized, it started off with just me being curious about wanting to do first aid. Well, when other women heard that I was going to do a first aid class geared towards wilderness, we had 10 women come and sign up for it. And one thing about those events that we have is the venues that we pick, a lot of people are not aware of that they're actually open to the public. So 10 women now learned that they can rent Boy Scout camps and have events. And the Boy Scouts can teach classes. And it's usually either free or really, really, really good cost. So
I can see that going along in Chicago. Can you imagine? Okay, yeah, Mayor, can we go out and go hunting? That'll work.
Yeah, Lori Lightfoot would really be all about that.
The Facebook user, is his wife skinny or plus size? Because I'm all about the plus size clothes.
I'm looking to see who it is. So, but yeah, Facebook user. Yeah, that's the only drawback. Facebook is it doesn't always show who. So
there are a lot of manufacturers that make clothing, hunting clothing for women.
Yep.
So
they are, but not all of them are good products.
No. Bass Pro has their own brand, the She brand. I don't know if it's any good or not.
No, it is not. If you are my size.
Right.
I know they don't care. I've commented a couple of times to them about that. You should try our She brand. You should go. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's good. I mean, it's, if you have a bad experience with something, we'd like to hear about it. I
Yeah, the
mean,
problem that most women have with hunting clothes is if you're not athletic, it's kind of hard for us to find clothes that are comfortable. And for me, I don't have to match, but I'm not gonna lie. If my camo matches and is season appropriate, I feel like I'm more successful in my harvest because I want to be out there and I feel like I know what I'm doing in my clothes.
hmm
And
and
I
I
don't
agree.
want to go get something from Walmart, sweat, and then hot, miserable, or cold, miserable because no one told me about dry wicking.
Mhm.
And while Walmart $20 pants are $20, but these $80 pants will last me several seasons, and I don't have swamp ass while I'm out hunting
Mhm.
because I wanted to save $60.
Right. So said she's plus size 5'2", 188 pounds. Said it's hard to find affordability in the Pacific Northwest. The one thing I've learned from hunting, just like Sharonda was just talking about, if you buy the cheap stuff, you're going to get cheap results.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, like she was just exactly saying, I'm a bigger guy. We're not your typical prototypical, size large. So if you go and buy the cheap double X or triple X or some of the stuff for me is 4X. If you go buy that cheap stuff, you're probably going to pay $20 for a season, like she was just saying. So
Yep.
if if it makes a season,
usually it doesn't.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I got several
But
companies. I'll post it later tonight in the Reloading podcast, and he can grab it.
yeah,
and just so everybody knows, spend some time looking at the stuff in March and April,
yeah,
Hmm.
so you get ready for your hunt, because you may want to try 4 or 5 different manufacturers, and all of them have a return policy. You can order it, try it, doesn't work, send it off back, order something else.
yep,
Yep. And if
Don't
you
be
order
afraid
it
to,
at the right time, there's great sales.
yeah,
yeah,
but start in March. It's just I used to buy all my deer hunting clothes and that in March, because everybody was selling everything then. They're all on sale.
I
Yeah,
usually buy mine.
hunting season's not the time to buy your camo.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No.
Usually like 2 weeks after season's over.
Yep. And women, the hunting women lines now, they have it where crazy sales will just say spend $500 and get 50% off. $250 sounds a lot, but if you're getting 4 complete hunting outfits for the season that you like, that is a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, when Gander Mountain was around, I bought one of their uh, orange outfits. Because we were required to wear orange
yep,
for gun season,
Mhm.
and that was the Gore-Tex, everything else. I spent I have to say I spent about $350 $400 total between the pants and the jacket with the
hmm
liner, and I think they're still packed in a box. They're in one of my reloading room, and they're still fine. They've lasted
Mhm.
who knows how many seasons of traipsing through the woods. So
Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff about hunting clothes that I'm learning about, like ripstop. I
mhm,
wish I'd have learned about ripstop sooner than later.
yep,
so search, look through it, find what you're looking for, understand the temperatures you hunt and everything else. Um, Make sure you buy things that you can layer out, and just work it that way. I mean, that's just the best way. And you know, maybe the pants and the jacket fit, but you need to find a couple of layers that go underneath to keep you warm, or when it's hot out, you can shed the jacket and bunch it up and throw it in the back, and wear a vest or something to make it work. So
Mhm.
a lot
Yeah, and
of
I've
different.
learned like a lot of guys tease people for wearing Sitka or the Sitka bougie boys are coming out. Look, when I went duck hunting with the guy that had on Sitka gear because he was a outfitter, it looked like he was just wearing a leisure sweatsuit. And he's standing in the middle of a frozen pond, breaking ice up, just comfortable, unbothered, no bulk or nothing. And I was like, I get it because I'm walking through the marsh like this because I can't move from all my bulk. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. And he's got ice stuck to his pants and he's unbothered and not feeling it.
Yeah, yeah. Buy buy it good. Cry once. Okay, guys, just cry one time,
Yep.
and especially for your wife. Oh Lord, you don't want to hear it. You know, when she starts letting you know she's cold out. You
Uh-huh.
know, your kids, your daughters and sons, you don't want to hear it when it's cold out. And they're complaining.
Hmm.
Even they're going to outgrow it all. It's what you have to do. You know,
Yep.
so
Exactly. So anyway, good luck, Raggle
Tracy,
Fraggle. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty neat that they stepped up like that to help you out because that's
Yeah, I
a good
was
thing you're doing.
shocked. I was like, oh, I'll ask. And I'm like, oh, they'll just not answer my email. The next thing I know, I'll get in shipment. And I'm like, shit.
Yep.
yeah,
So Sharp, what you been up to?
Well, this weekend took the wife out for a little vacation, get away from everything. Got back Sunday, went elk hunting. Got onto some elk, but we didn't see a closer little group that we kind of startled and that spooked everything. So we didn't get anything. But did some load development on the 300 PRC to try to get that finished up because I took the 308 out, but got the load for the 190 CXs. So I got about 79.2 grains, and it's going average of 30.22 with a 5.5 SD.
Nice.
wow,
I'm
nice,
happy with that. Can't complain.
nice.
Yeah.
So next weekend, and yeah, it was hotter than hell here because it was 94 when we were out on Sunday afternoon into the evening, and then it was 97 on Monday. So didn't even bother going out on Monday. But this weekend is supposed to be 63. So it'll be a little more pleasant out there elk hunt in that weather than
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem when even 60s is warm, honestly.
yeah.
Because you got to figure out how to keep the meat cold.
Yeah, and I was explaining that to my wife. She's like, "Well, on my brother-in-law's ranch where I hunt, a few years ago they had a hunter donate one of those walk-in coolers. So we got that
Ooh.
put up. The game wardens tinned it. They said, we'll provide the tin to get it out of the weather if you allow us to put the confiscated meat and stuff like that in. So that was a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, hell yeah. But it doesn't matter. Even if we're on the back part of the property and that heat, we're probably going to lose some because even if we're right next to an 8 UTV and haul it out, it's still going to sit there
You
and bake for a bit.
you literally gonna have like a cow tank full of
Mhm.
ice that you can literally just bury it in
Yeah.
right away.
Um,
Even at we've gone out a couple times. A buddy of mine and I've gone ag tagging a couple times, and it's like 50s, and we've got 3 coolers in the back full of ice just so we can pack the chest cavity right away. And even then, I mean, we've had 2 of the 3 deer that we've gotten at 50 degrees or higher. I mean, we lost half the meat. So I can't even imagine even thinking about at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
and if you have to pack it out, that's even worse.
Yeah.
I mean, if we would have had a shot, I think one of us would have took it. while the other person's running to get, something so we can haul it. But
Right.
it was more of a scouting opportunity than anything really, just kind of see because they haven't seen a lot of sign up there in a while. I mean,
Yep.
But hopefully when it starts hitting 60s this weekend, that might bring them out of the higher ground down to the lower meadows and stuff. And maybe get a better idea of what they're doing.
Any snow up there yet?
In Wyoming, no, but I think it was a week ago. The wife was saying she read somewhere I'm assuming somewhere in the mountains in Colorado, they got a few inches.
Okay, that usually moves them. I mean, snow, once you get snow, it starts to move them. So,
and it's been cooling off, but we hit that heat wave this week, and it just threw everything back a wrench into it. So it's like, great, here we go.
Yep.
What you using?
I took the 308 out just because I hadn't finished the load development on the 300 PRC, but so this coming weekend I'll have the 300 ready to go.
Do you sit or stalk?
Depends on what we're doing. Usually do a combination. If I know it's an area on the property where they will frequent from the neighbor's property over to different pastures, I might sit up on the side of the mountain or something, kind of glass. But if they're hanging out, then I switch into stock mode, pack stuff up, and then move in to try to get that closer shot.
that was one of the things that a guide I noticed from hunting in New Mexico for elk, that everybody was shooting their elk at very close range.
Mm-hmm.
It was warm. It was not cold. I would say, 60s during the day, evenings getting down in the 30s. As soon as you down an elk, they didn't bother to skin it or anything else. Or they gutted it. They had coolers with frozen milk jugs in there, with filled with water, and they throw that in there and close it up. Throw 5 or 6 tarps over it. Drive it to the cooler. As soon as they get in the cooler, they'll start skinning it then. So, different ways to do it.
Yeah.
It's in the mountains.
I like the milk jug idea, though. A lot cheaper than, if you got a place to freeze it, definitely a lot cheaper than buying bagged ice.
Yeah, it is. Milk jugs work well. You can put it, all the way down the bottom. You can put it in between the legs. You can, they carried 10 or 12 milk jugs frozen.
Yeah, all the way up into the neck.
Yeah, up in the neck as far as you can. They just, all over the place, and then tarps and tarps and tarps. And,
I carry 2 or 3 tarps in my truck when I go hunting.
Yeah. So
Sharp, can you help her out with that? Oh my.
CSR Industries, yes. South Texas deer hunting it probably started right now, and you hunt in the January in the in your shirt sleeves. So again, milk jugs are awesome.
Well, that's interesting. Just got a text message. Apparently, one of the veterinary organizations put me in for a bull elk hunt for a donated tag, and I was selected to go out for a vet hunt.
Congratulations.
There you go. Congratulations.
That makes 5 tags. I drew 2 for myself, an antelope, a deer, and now somebody put me in for one. I was like, okay.
Meeting the freedom.
Oh, to have your life problems.
I won't lie. I donate a lot of the meat that I harvest to people around here.
Nice.
I'm just like, how much do you need? Okay. because like there's a single mom that we help out, and it's like, okay, we'll keep it in the freezer, and it's like, just tell me how much you need. This is what you got. You don't charge processing. I cover that. And
That's awesome.
because I mean, hell, even if with 4 tags, if I were to fill every one of those, there's no way my wife and I are going to eat that much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most people around here, at least that I know of, they can handle maybe a quarter of an elk, um, maybe a half an antelope, and maybe half a deer, and that's it. I mean, family of 4, to and mix things up with chicken, and other things. Um, but yeah, four tags. Wow, that's a whole hell of a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, it's going to take a lot of luck to be in the right place at the right time to make sure the animals are there, because Mother Nature's got to say.
Well, of course, but it's still, you know, I'll send you the curry comb and you know, that way you can make sure that the game warden's got no problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, here's how it will work, Chris. If you were trying to fulfill those tags for yourself, there would not be anything there. But if you go with the intentions of donating, you'll probably have your best harvest ever.
Yeah.
But you know what is, Sharinda? I've done this for years up here. It puts a lot of pressure on you, and you're like, these people are kind of counting on this tag because, especially with the way that inflation is right now, they can't afford to get out. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's good when you can see, somebody that gets the benefit of what we do.
Yeah.
Elk blood 01. 150, 120, 150.
That seems a little light.
If you got to bone it all out and do it, that's about right, But that's a lot of work, as Chris will tell you. Normally, you're going to get, it's a 600-pound animal. On a bull elk, it'll be 600 pounds. A cow is going to be 350.
Yeah.
So, you're pretty close with the with the weight on a cow, but a good bull elk, oh my, you're talking 600 pounds, and you're talking 300, without too much of a problem, and walking out with quarters. Yeah, that's no fun. Give me a UTV.
Yeah, we're a little smart about where we're trying to harvest an elk. Last thing we don't want to do is have it go down one of these rocky ravines, and that just becomes a pain. If we can shoot it somewhere in a pasture or even on the side of the hill, and we can get the UTV or a tractor close by to help, we'll do that. Any day.
Yeah, get the pickup close by, or else, yeah, but yeah, so between Sharenda with all her new reloading gear and everything else, and Chris sitting there winning another tag. Wow.
Well, as far as reloading gear, I did finally order my 21st century concentricity gauge. They had a sale this weekend, so instead of the $340, I got it for $270.
Nice.
Nice.
What's the ETA on it?
I don't know. I didn't get a shipping rate. It was in stock, but I just hope it's not like a Optics Planet in stock, but then you got 3 week back order.
Yeah, that would suck.
21st Century is family owned, and they do not work on weekends or holidays.
Nope.
So you do not get a shipping notice on them until they actually process everything, and it ain't going to happen on Tuesday. Okay, unless you were ordering Friday night at midnight.
Nope. So, ordered it Sunday afternoon. So.
Yeah, so ain't going to happen. You ain't going to see it until Thursday, Friday.
Yep.
It's just the way they are. Now I heard something through the grapevine. You canceled out your super trickler
I did,
and went with a auto trickler
and I did.
for before.
Yeah,
Okay,
I had a few concerns that started
and
popping. I think the concept is still good, but like I was telling Mike, I started seeing a few things on the Super Trickler page that they were considering going with basically the same color as Nick's shirt out of last minute
uh,
change, and everybody's like, "Why?" And it was something about off color, and then some things started saying more and more stuff was like the boards and stuff. Everything was starting to be made in China, and it's like, okay, I'm not, I'm gonna hold off to see how this pans out before I pick one up.
at $600 a piece, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and Auto Trickler 4 is
Mhm.
right up there too.
Mhm.
So, um, what are they? If you buy it with the scale, they're $1,000 now.
Yep, and you get for military, you get like $20 off free shipping. I was like, I was gonna buy it anyway, but they're like, oh, you're military. I was like, okay, but there is a back order on that.
Right.
I should
And
see
I
mine.
I wait because I ordered mine back a year ago, and I'm still waiting.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right now, they're
so
saying current orders are going to ship in January or early 2023.
yeah,
But something I
they
noticed,
can't.
it seems like Rex is having some problems with stuff coming out because of the COVID out or uptick over there. Things are getting pushed off and off. So he's even had to push the super trickler back. So it's like, oh man, it's like
Yeah,
keep
well,
it
the
on order, see which one comes in first.
auto trickler's been pushed back too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I have the scale. All I want is the
Mhm.
is the setup. I mean, the cover, the whole
Mhm.
9 yards on top. So see and wait. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody else, the big names, all the big, match shooters and everybody else are all getting it. But yeah, the little guys are taking their time.
Yeah.
So I was hoping Super Trickler was going to.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, I still think it's going to be a great product. It's just, it's like with things that have been coming out from overseas, especially, people happen to go where they have to. And I just was like, okay, China's QA/QC stuff is not the best. Let's see how it pans out before I drop that. If I could be wrong. Maybe he got a great supplier from over there. I don't know, but I was like, I'm just going to hold off for a second.
well, they ran a bunch of tests on their power supplies the
Mhm.
first batch, and they had to throw them away and to get a new batch.
Mhm.
So, and now their boards, they got 250 boards.
Yeah, something like that.
It's a drop in the bucket,
Yeah.
you know. So, anyhow, next, Nick, how about you?
Already went.
It's
Yeah.
on you,
And what?
Paul.
Up to you, Paul.
Up to me? Oh,
Yep.
well, I just started rehab, so I'm just taking it easy. I did get lucky over the weekend, and I got ordered 16 pounds of H4350. I bought a new rifle scope and a new red dot. So as long as the wife does not see the credit card bill, which I hope she won't, I should be good.
We'll be
And
attending
everything,
your funeral when, Paul?
yeah, exactly. But I got to tell you, the scope came in at a good price. I got to admit that. Uh, the Arkin scope, they have the SH4s on sale for 289 for the 4 to 16 and 6 to 24 on the 6 to 24s. So, and plus, if you order the accessory kit that comes with it, which is the rings, the throw lever, the bubble level, the shooting bag, the scope covers, and a couple other things. It's a $200 value. They give you a $170 discount. So you're looking at $300 or under. Okay. So it's not a bad deal for what you're getting. So,
I don't know.
and then Primary Arms had my red dot in stock.
Which
Yes.
red did you get?
I got the 507 C.
Oh, the Hollow Sun?
Okay.
Nice.
The Hollow Sun, yeah.
I sold a
So-
couple of those at work this week, so
And
seemed like a nice little unit.
yeah, and they're in the $300 range, which is not bad.
Yep.
Considering RMR or a Delta Point is $150 more. So
You just
not
reminded me of
bad.
something, Paul. I did order something from Primary Arms too. I got my new trigger for that new
Oh,
rifle.
there we go. Which
Nice.
double 2-stage?
No, I believe it's just a single stage, but it's the Elfman
Okay.
Tactical. I've done a few of their trigger swaps with some Savages and I've been pretty impressed.
Yeah.
So I was like, they came out with the 700, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. And
Yeah.
hell of a deal because MSRP is like almost $300 on it. I got it for 176. I think with shipping came like 192.
Can't beat
Very
that.
nice.
Nope.
Not even with a big
Can't
stick.
beat that. Yeah. That last Timmy trigger I bought was what, $300? I mean,
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
definitely
they're
gone up. in
priced
price.
on par with everybody else, and I've been pretty impressed with at least with the ones I've seen for Savages. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. What's the worst case? I don't like it. Take it out, sell it.
Right?
Yeah.
Go get a trigger tech or something.
Yeah, we went by their booth at SHOT Show. At least my dad and I did. Chris, I don't know if Mike did. Seemed like a good company, small
Mhm.
family-based company. We've nothing disappointed about them at all. Their AR triggers are nice, all that.
I mean, when I originally did a trigger swap on a Savage, I ordered it off of Optics Planet, and it came without the little bolt. And I just contacted them, like, okay, no problem. Like, even though you bought it through Optics Planet, well, here you go. Like, what else you need? It's like, hey, how about 3 or 4 more triggers? But didn't think that would fly.
If I had an AK, their AK trigger is really nice, and if that's what I would put in mine. But don't have an AK.
That's because of where you live, though.
No, I can get an AK. I just don't want to spend the money on one right now.
yeah.
Build one.
Well, and I've discussed that. I've talked about that, but it's a lot different from building an AR.
Just
AR, I
a bit.
can go down on my bench and assemble it, build it in an hour and a half.
Yeah, just a bit difference.
I need a press, punch it, more different punches, all sorts of different other tools. And I want to, but I just don't want to put the money into those other parts.
If they can make it out of a shovel in a cave in the middle of the high desert of Pakistan,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could make one in Illinois.
Well, I can make one. I know I can. I've done a heck of a lot worse.
Yeah,
I just don't want to put the time into that right now. I got enough other projects.
Well,
Exactly.
Some of the things though, like the rivets, you can do well with a air impact gun.
Mhm.
It works good. And just
I use 2 rocks.
yeah, I know.
Bang.
Yeah, it's all doable. So AKs, like they say, the hardest thing is getting the rivets right.
Yep.
So
Could be fun,
yeah,
but I don't think so. So besides, I've kind of taken the fun out of it now.
well, Illinois has this thing about ghost guns now. You heard that, right? They passed that in the middle of the night there, Nick.
Yeah, and it wasn't even a ghost gun bill. It was a utility bill that they put that crap in. And
Yeah. So,
Oh, I
and
can go
now
on for
they're
days about our fun government here in the state of, as we call it, the People's Republic of Illinois.
Yes, it
yeah.
is.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You haven't been visited by the state police yet, have you? No.
If they've came to my door, I haven't been home.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're going around revoking FOIDs.
Yes.
They'd probably come to my work first, since I work for the state. They'd probably come there and talk to me first. But
Yeah, no, they're was it last week over 400?
Yeah. Yep.
So
specific reasons why, do we know?
Yeah.
none less.
They haven't kept their FOID card up to date as far as addresses and all that
I'm
kind of
good.
stuff.
I'm
You
good.
know, I'm just saying they,
Yeah, it's
whatever they can find wrong, they will, and then they're taking the firearms away from the people.
That's the big kicker
The
is
kicker,
not only
yeah.
do they confiscate your FOID, but now you're not illegally able to own those firearms. They don't
Right.
give you an option to get them to anybody else. They confiscate them on the spot,
Right.
and you won't get them back.
Yep. So, anyhow, no politics, no more politics today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Strand Smith sent a question in. Says, "Hi, I'm a listener of your podcast. Thank you, and I've learned a lot from you guys. It's good to know. Hopefully, it's mostly good stuff you've learned." He has a 6.5 by 248 Norma, and he's wanting to get into precision shooting, but I know with this caliber, barrels don't last long. With that being said, I have some pet loads worked up, but I know in the future I will have to change barrels at some point. If I get the same twist barrel as my current one, will my hand loads need to be tweaked? Sorry if this is a stupid question, but thank you for your time. It's not a stupid question. It's an actual ridiculous. It's actually a serious question. Because Paul,
Yeah.
pick one of your 22 250s.
Okay. Yeah. Do they
How many times
loads,
have you changed the barrel?
average now? I'm working on one was 4 and the other one with 3.
Okay. So it's actually a very serious question.
Right.
So
Exactly. If you know you're going to burn barrels out, buy 2 or 3 barrels. I know this is really, really steep here, but buy 2 or 3 barrels and take them and have them reamed out with the same chamber reamer and fitted to your gun all at the same time, all 3 of them. I don't care if you think you're gonna, because you're gonna get into precision shooting, you're gonna shoot a lot. 3 barrels is not that much as in a precision shooting. Same
Well,
reamer. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say another reason why you also want to do that is if you're ordering from like Bartlett, Krieger, or any of the good manufacturers of barrels, you look at some of their lead times. Heck, Bartlett at one point had a year-long lead, so you would want to order 2 or 3 barrels at a time, just so when you're ready to swap, you're not going, okay, hopefully it comes in time.
yeah,
Especially when you go through a barrel in 2,000 rounds or less. So, and you're in precision shooting. So, order barrels. Have the gunsmith blueprint the receiver, and then have him chamber and fit each barrel the same way. And as he fits the barrel, have him put a witness mark on each one, so it fits the receiver in the same place. Usually, a witness mark is put if you're not gluing the action into the gun. You put it on the underside of the receiver, and they just take a very sharp chisel to make a small line so both of them intersect each other, and you can with a barrel vise and an action wrench, you can snug it up to each one, and you should be, if with his go and no go gauge, and he does a good job, he should be able to get it where there's no difference whatsoever in the headspace. But if you're not at that point and you have a gun that is 6.5 by 284 Norma, and you're going to want to put another barrel on in the future, well, I can't guarantee you the loads are going to work.
Yep.
It's going to be a different chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it's going to be the same setup as far as 6.5 by 284, what one gunsmith has for a 6.5 by 284 chamber reamer is going to be different what the next gunsmith has, and what was done to your barrel that you have in there now. And we have no clue how much you've eroded your barrel at this point. So,
Well, even with the major manufacturers, if you bought a barrel today and then, it takes you, say, 2, 3, 4 years to shoot that barrel out, well, they've already swapped that reamer out. So you're going to have a different, even though it's
sure.
the same spec, it's still going to cut different because could be a brand new reamer for all you know.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it on the chart? Right, it's big on the chart as far as new. As it wears out, they sharpen it each time. It gets smaller, so and everything gets tighter. So we don't know where it sits on the and we're not just talking the neck, we're talking the body and everything else. So
yeah,
and the headspace part of it, we understand that, we know where that's going to be approximately, but it's not going to be the same for the next barrel. So I put together a 6XC, and I had 2 barrels from Bartland made up, and they were one in 10 twist, because I like to shoot an 85 grain boat tail bullet. But from Bartland, I could get the left hand twist and in a gain twist. But I had 2 barrels made up at the same time, and I had them chambered at the same time. So I can take the barrel off, one barrel off, put another barrel on, and 10 minutes. That's all it takes. So expensive, yes. Okay.
but is it really? If you know that you're going to be shooting this firearm long enough to shoot the barrel out, and then you're going to continue shooting it after you've replaced the barrel,
right?
Is it really that expensive?
It adds. Okay, let me go to a standard barrel instead of going to a left-hand twist, everything else that I added to it. A standard barrel adds, let's call it $400 now. Okay. So you get $400, and this is a quality barrel. This will be Barton, Brooks, Krager, Mueller, any of those. They're cut rifle barrels. $400 to have it chambered is $300. Okay, so that means they'll cut it, thread it, put a chamber reamer in it. You're there. You're done. So let's call it $700 a barrel. Okay, not too bad. That really isn't too bad when you think about it. If you're having 4 or 5 barrels, or even 2 or 3 barrels made up,
right?
Which is what I'm saying. Go ahead. I mean, you're going to spend, $700-800. Spend $700-800 on it, and have them made up. There's a lot of shooters that I know a couple of shooters that shoot F class that buy 8 or 9 barrels a year, and they own their own reamer, so they just bought it. Okay, so they just take it to the gunsmith and say, here, here's the spec for the action, the blueprint. This is what I want you to cut. Here's how it's all laid out by the manufacturer of the action, and here's the reamer.
Pizza Hut.
Yep.
So, what's a reamer cost?
Shit. Hold on.
It's like having Jim here.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's a house phone.
Yep.
And I'm not used to it.
You give me a second, Paul or Mike. I'll look it up and Manson see.
Okay.
Manson? Okay. Yeah. Depending upon what you're looking at, a reamer is going to cost you $160, $170.
Yeah, 6-pack projects at 120 to 180. So it's actually probably cheaper to buy the reamer, have your gunsmith do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the other thing to consider, Paul. How much were those barrels 3 years ago?
I'm going to say the last two 222 barrels that I bought for my 223s were $280, under $300. Okay, so yeah, it's
So if you wait, not only are you going to have problems with having to rework your loads, possibly, which
right.
means you're paying for powder, you're paying for bullets, you're paying for primers, brassware. So there's those costs.
Right.
But now your barrel costs you more.
Well,
Because
yeah, your barrel costs you more.
Material goes up, labor goes up.
If labor goes up, that means your chambering costs go up. So
Mhm.
I was getting, before I was getting, and I'm going back a few years for the 223s, I was getting chambering done for $250. Now they're, 300. So not a lot, but they've gone up. And then I'm not even, I don't know what action he's shooting or anything like that.
Right.
But if he needs a true in action up in that, that could throw another $300-400 into it.
Yep.
But you only have to do it once.
Right.
Okay. So you true the action up, and that way they have the guy that did it has all the specs and what the action is, and he can turn, if he keeps track of it, he can turn another outside to the barrel without a problem. And if you send him the reamer, well, there you go.
Yep.
I mean, and you're set. But buy extra barrels. I mean, it's just I'm waiting on barrels right now.
Right.
I got a 22 and a 6mm barrel on order from Brooks. And the 6mm barrel is going to be done before the 22 barrel is. So, problem is they're 30-inch barrels, so they're long. But I'm trying out some new stuff. So
yeah. So, but yeah, definitely, it's definitely a cost benefit, cost savings even, to buy multiple barrels at once. Especially with your gunsmith, if he's doing the chamber reaming, maybe he's charging a setup fee, but if he's doing both barrels at the same time, he won't charge you the setup fee for each. So, I mean, there's all these little is in nuance, not little is inexpensive. There's all these little things that go in with swapping out barrels that you don't think about, but if you plan ahead,
right,
there you go.
Yeah. And
Well, and so looking at the reamer costs, it really depends on if you're talking just a standard, from rimless up to different cartridges, and if you want match or not, solid pilot, removable pilot. Removable
Yeah.
pilot jumps the price up to as much as $230. But
Yep.
still, if you got that, if you own the reamer and stuff, well, you can chamber, 7, 8 barrels and probably be perfectly fine, and not
Yep.
have to worry about.
if you're good and you have a good lathe setup, and you have coolant pushed through the barrel,
Mhm.
you can get 60, 70 barrels out of out of a reamer, out of problem. You know, but you have to be able to flush that the barrel, and flush it from um, the muzzle end, back, so it pushes all that stuff out. So
Yep.
and that you're not making big cuts. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
A good gunsmith sits down and drills it, runs a boring bar into it, and then he's maybe taken out the last half inch, running everything in. So the hardest part is the setup on the barrel.
Mhm. Well, I'm looking at the Yahoo chat. I don't know. Rogers brought up how somebody talked him into doing a barrel nut on his Remington. That's what I think makes like certain actions like Savages and a few others so popular is you can buy a pre-fit barrel, order 4 or 5, 6 of them, and just torque it down. And you're good for the
Sure.
most part.
You're sitting there. You're with a pre-fit. You still have to do a headspace
Mm-hmm.
and everything else.
Yep.
So that's where I sit down and say, hey, if I got if it's a 700, I pin the recoil lug into it so it doesn't move. I put a witness mark on each barrel. I don't worry about it. Okay, I just tighten it up to the witness mark. That's it.
Yep.
I don't need a gauge after that. You know what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for a go no go gauge after it's been set and witnessed. With a Savage, you have to use a gauge every time you do it. And is it going to change a little bit? It could.
Mm-hmm.
You know, go gauge with a piece of Scotch tape, and that you're set. You know, um, that's how I used to run a barrel in, was with a piece of Scotch tape on it, to see if that would set the headspace on it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's about 2 to 3 thousandths depending upon what brand of Scotch tape you use.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
The thing is, if you're going to do a lot of barrel swaps, and you worry about, just buy a set of go no go gauges.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really not expensive. Just put them in your toolbox and you'll have them. So if you got any questions, check it and make sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
Running with scissors.
So, running with scissors gets question. It says fire formed Lapo brass, cleaned, annealed with annealies and sized. So, annealies is the induction annealer. Usually shoot Hornady. Upon seating, it was like scratching nails on a chalkboard. Nozzler bullets, longer flame time? Question? Thanks.
Sounds like he's got something in the action. And
Well, he said upon seating, though, not upon chambering. So I'm wondering, did he mean upon chambering? And he said upon seating, or is he
that's right.
actually talking about when he's seating the bullets? So, running with scissors, can you clarify that?
Well, he's saying fire form, lubricated, cleaned, annealed,
And sized.
and sized. And if he got the brass too clean, he's running into a problem where the the brass is grabbing the bullet,
Yeah.
which happens. Um, a lot of us use Redding uh, dry lube,
Yep.
and some of us who shall remain nameless here um, use HBN2, which is a lube, and we lube our bullets before we shoot them,
Yeah.
and that would stop those two things from happening. Because if he's got it as clean as what I'm thinking he's got it, it's like what I do when I run mine through a my ultrasonic,
Hmm.
and it pounds the brass pretty damn good.
Hmm.
Um, it could be too clean. It's just gall, it's got a little galling as he's heating the nozzle bullets in there.
Yeah.
You know, if it's the action as he's closing the bolt on it, then I say go to Dewey and get yourself an action cleaning kit, clean your action out real good,
Yeah.
and go
He
from
did.
there.
He just responded and said it is from seating the bullet. So yeah,
Okay,
definitely some harsh metal on metal action there. And
right. That's the way I would see it there. Yeah.
I guess my question would be, what is he using for lube when he's sizing, and then is he cleaning it after he lubes?
Yeah.
Oh, see, there's part of your problem. See, there's part of your problem right there running with scissors.
Ooh,
He's using
wait.
Lee lube. You might as well spit on it. Okay.
Some Redding case neck lube and use that, and you will find that you don't have that problem anymore. And you don't put it on the bullet, you put it on the neck of the case. You just dip it in, and it goes fast
Hmm.
as far as reloading, and it also helps in other things by reducing friction as you um, as you use a mandrel uh, to open up your case to whatever dimensions you're looking at. And also, if you're using a bushing die, it helps that way too. So, a lot of advantages to using something like that. And if you get really involved in it, look up HBN2 and lubing your using it to lube your bullets to get higher velocities and less pressure at the cost of more powder. Let me make sure I put that in.
So how the Imperial dry neck lubricant works is it's actually in a application media. I don't know what the media is. I can't tell from the picture, but basically you just take and you dunk your case in it. So
And it's very fine, very small ceramic balls. Okay,
yeah.
so you just dunk
Um,
dunk it in. That's it. It gives you barely can see it, and
I don't
it
know.
just
I don't want to dip this over too much, but that's what it is right there. You can
yeah.
kind of see in the camera.
let me blow it up for you here. Come on. There you go. Don't sneeze.
I'm not dumping it anymore because it'll go all over the keyboard.
Yeah. But he can see the little ceramic balls that are in there, the white ones, and it's just a handy thing to have for turning out good reloads. Yep.
Yeah, he said he's got the Lyman. So it looks like Lyman makes one too. I don't see much on it though. But
I don't know about Lyman. All I know is the Redding.
Yeah.
And I've been used in a while. HBN2 again. That one day, we'll sit down and go through
Whole
a
process.
whole process of turning bullets that way.
Sounds good. Yeah, Six Pack Project said it's similar to a powdered graphite, and that's what it kind of seemed like. So it's a dry lube. So I guess I'd never run into the issue because I use one shot.
Right.
And so when you're using one shot, if you're doing it correctly, you're lubing the inside of the case.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, I've never really had that issue. And then that's what I was sitting as I'm processing the steps. That's what I realized. So,
Yeah, and I don't know about Chris, but I use Imperial sizing wax, and that's what my main lube is, unless I'm turning out AR-15 loads.
yeah.
But just so you know that the other good thing about one shot is if you're doing pistol loads in a 650, 750, or one of the bigger RL models,
Mm-hmm.
it really makes the cases slick enough when they go through pistol cases going through your dies, and you'll get about 50% reduction in the force that as you feel it sizing.
Nice.
So,
I'll be honest, I don't even lube my pistol cases.
well, I'm not. I'm just saying, if you got a case feeder, you
Yeah.
throw, you're going to throw, say, 500 cases in there. You just go in and spray, and you just, it'll just sit and tumble and hit off all the other ones. And as you go through it, it reduces the amount of effort it takes to run the handle.
Yeah. Which then therefore reduces the wear on the brass.
Right. The only thing it'll do, it will leave a black ring on top of the in your case feeder.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I use the lanolin alcohol mix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I find it because I usually will do 100 rounds at a time or 50 or so, depending on what I'm loading for. So it's easy to put all that in, spray it, and good.
Huh. So Six Pack Project says one of the ones he's been using for a wet lube for the last couple decades is Gerber Wire Aid, non-petroleum based wax for pulling wire in conduit.
Hmm. Hmm.
I bet you it's probably pretty cheap too.
Uh-huh.
So.
Yeah. I'll bet you a quart of it would, cost a couple of bucks, and that's it. Huh.
I mean, when you look at the lanolin alcohol mix, I mean, that's actually relatively cheap to make, and
right.
You can make a large volume, especially if you're going out to buy the Hornady one shot or something like that. That could get pricey real quick.
Well, especially post-COVID, that one shot went up quite a bit. So the can I have now is the last can I'll be buying. So
the only thing you got to remember to do is if you're making your own is shake it up.
Yep, shake it up before you spray
it. It will
it.
start to separate eventually.
The old days, we used to, when I did a lot of 308 reloading, we used lanolin, but we put the lanolin on a cloth, put 200-300 cases in a one of the in a tumbler,
Mm-hmm.
the rolling ones, and just let it go. You're resizing military brass is what it was, and you would just go that way. You didn't even have to mix it with alcohol. But then again, you sit down, and by the time we ended up doing it, I ended up with 5 or 6 tumblers. So you had to have some to clean the brass and some to lube the brass and on and on. So, but they last a long time. I don't think you can wear one out.
So yeah, a quart of it in a squeeze bottle is $17.41.
Yeah.
From Walmart. I'm pretty sure that was just the very first search that came up.
Yeah. $10 a quart 6-pack is saying.
So like here, yeah. See, I popped on Amazon. It's $12.38 for a quart.
Yeah.
So it's from
And if you went to an electrical supply store, I'll bet you get it even cheaper.
Oh yeah. Oh, Klein makes their own version for $9.69. So I mean,
There you go.
it's like everything else. There's GB, which is the Gerber Bender, which is the original, and then everybody else makes their own stuff. So
that'd be interesting. I will have to try that.
Yeah. But does anybody remember what Hornady's version of the case wax is?
Hornady lube. I don't remember.
DWD37 said it's also called Imperial.
Okay. It comes in a big tub, though. It's there's a whole difference between it.
Looks like they call it Unique Case Lube now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. AR Guns 1776 says unique.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a big tub of stuff, though. It's not like Imperial.
It's about 3 times the size of the
Right.
Imperial sizing wax. So,
well, according to Hornady's site, they actually got 2 versions. They got the one-shot case sizing wax and then the unique case lube.
so we got some new stuff.
Yeah.
All right then.
Then they have a small little case lube bottle, and then of course they got the one shot listed. That's all the 4 that they have listed on case lube.
Oh yeah, one-shot case sizing wax. So that's probably what they used to sell called Imperial, because they used to have an Imperial case sizing wax as well.
And I'm sure with 2 different manufacturers, it probably came down to Redding saying, "Well, we made it first, so lose the name."
Yep.
Question for everybody here: has anybody heard anything more on the Hodgdon powder shortage that we're going to be getting in the future?
No. I'm still working with Hodgdon to try and get somebody scheduled to come on the podcast, but it's looking very promising.
Okay.
If anything from my distributor holds any weight, there's not going to be a shortage, but prices are going up by at least 10%.
I've heard, maybe I'm wrong, and it may be just a rumor, that certain powders are not going to be manufactured anymore or going to be reformulated.
The Enduron line is dead.
Yeah,
the Enduron line.
I posted that in the Discord channel.
Okay.
Yeah, the Enduron line from IMR is dead. That is actually on Hodgdon's website.
Yep.
Okay. And then people were saying things like powders like Varget, H4895, H4350 are going to be reformulated.
That there's no official confirmation of anything on. So that's something that once we get somebody nailed down to come on the podcast, we can ask them. So,
but the Enduron line, in other words, DuPont is dead as far as their powders, the IMR powders. The improved military rifle powders are dead.
Well, just the Enduron line, not the rest of them. So just the ones they released, the ones that were temperature sensitive or not temperature sensitive, I should say. Like
Right.
the 8208 and the whatever the other ones were. I don't remember off the top
Oh
of my
God,
head.
we're gonna lose
Hey, Paul.
8208. Yeah.
Here's what they said. Hodgdon announced on 9/1/2022 increase on select powders, not all powders, on price. Increase will be substantial. I basically was told about 10%, if not a little bit more. Then it goes into the manufacturer has removed the following powders: IMR 4166, 4451, 4955, 7977, and 8133. They will
Oh,
no longer be
8133.
manufactured.
Okay, so they're
And-
gonna keep 8208. They're gonna keep that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I confirmed with what, like Mike was saying, I went on Hodgdon's site and it was under their news section.
Okay. I had just heard something about some issues in overseas with some of the ingredients that are being used in manufacturing of the powders, that they are having difficulties with them, and uh,
Yeah, I don't think Hodgdon actually makes any of their own powders anymore.
no,
I
no,
can't
they don't.
confirm or deny, but
They never made any of their powder.
yeah.
They were never a powder manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
Accurate Arms was never a powder manufacturer.
I didn't know
Accurate
if with
Arms,
all their acquisitions, if they had any
yeah,
that they've
no,
bought
no,
up
no,
that were powder manufacturers.
no. Winchester, okay, always was part of Hodgdon for the longest time.
Yep.
With theirs was made by St. Mark's, okay.
Hmm.
The Most of the powders were pull down, or then they finally went to other manufacturers that were making the powders and having them make them for them and then distributing them,
Yeah.
and they would order large quantities of it and then break it down into smaller quantities. um, you'll find that again, Hodgson started like with H 4831. Okay,
Hmm.
that was pulled down powder.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it was. So and a lot of the other ones were pulled down powder. So
Well, hey, Paul, if you want at least from my distributor, I'll give you a quick of different things that are coming out. What I see is a 10 to 20% increase on select Hodgdon powders, which are probably going to be your more, I would just educated guess, your Varget, H1000, Rotumbo, the ones that are out really sought after. FNP bullets are going to have a slight increase. Lehigh bullets increase coming soon. Norma brass and Berry bullets will have a slight increase. And then they've suspended all back orders on Hornady brass because they don't expect anything to be coming in until the first quarter of 2023. Yeagman, Sig Sauer brass, they're suspending back orders due to limited income.
I thought Yeagerman went out completely,
Oh, really?
unless somebody bought them out.
Yeah, I'm just going off what they're pushing out to me. And then Spear, unknown delivery at this time, so they've suspended. Same with Wolf / Pulled products, unsuspended because they don't know when they're going to get anything in.
Nobody can get material.
Yeah. And the only primers, I know that's everybody's concern, that I can actually put on back order or for manufacturing side. Nothing for retail. That kind of still leads me to believe they're going to take care of people that are actually manufacturing ammo a little bit more than
sure,
the reloader.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, where's the bread and butter in it is
Not us.
no, it's definitely not us. But even if we're paying $100 $1,000, 10 cents a primer, we would do it anyway. Okay, we don't mind spending the money for a good load. Okay, I don't. At least I don't.
Right.
But for blasting ammo. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, 223, 55, 556, 762 by by 39. It's blasting ammo. Okay, you just go out there and you're going to shoot it up. 9 millimeter target ammo, blasting ammo. Um, it don't pay. It doesn't pay to reload, does it?
No.
Unless
Well, I mean,
you're
that's the way it was pre-COVID. 9 millimeter and 556. If you were just looking at bulk target ammo, it was not worth
uh-huh.
loading.
Yeah.
Unless you were getting one of the major components for free. If you were somehow getting your bullets, your powder for free, then yes. Otherwise, no, it wasn't worth it.
Hmm. But but I'm sitting there saying if I'm making match loads, I'm definitely, or if I'm making something that has an exotic bullet in it that I can't get anywhere else, um, then I'm going to do it. But I still can't get, Sierra 1530s. I still can't find them. I have been scouring the United States to find 6 millimeter 85 grain boat tail hollow points. I can't find it. I set a rifle up to do the whole thing. Can't get it. Okay.
Yep.
Oh.
I mean, powder wise, they're opening up a lot more back orders.
Yeah.
Of course, no Retumbo, no H1000. When they opened it up, I did max out what they were allowing me to back order. But I mean, they've got Varget 1 pounders that you can back order. They're putting limits on what you could do per order because they don't want somebody. I'm a small time guy. They don't want Paul with his $100,000 come in and say max it so nobody else can get it.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's mostly 1 pounders you're seeing.
Yeah. As far as 8 pounders go, I mean, I got lucky. I had a friend that knows somebody at local Sportsman's Warehouse or Rocky Mountain Discount here.
Yeah.
Kind of let me know that there was some H1000. They had 4 8 pounders. I went and picked up one, and it was 280 something.
Right.
And I was like, okay,
I'm
fine with
I
that.
bought I bought two 8 pounders of H 4350, and I was 265 per um, per 8 pounder. So it was with hazmat was just under 300, just under $600 to get, what normally used to be $400.
As far as 8 pound jugs, the only thing that they're really allowing us to order is H33 5, US 869, H110 long shot, CFE 223, pistol CFE little gun, and 50 BMG.
Okay.
Then they got a Winchester 224 super handicap, then IMR 3031, 4350 8 pounders, and then 1680 for accurate and number 2. Other than that, everything else would be basically 1 pounders.
Right. So 4350, they got 8 pounders.
Yeah,
saying.
but
Okay.
this list says for OEM only for 8 pounders.
Okay.
Which makes sense because they're gonna, if I was
Yeah.
running a true ammo company, well, I'm gonna be using a hell of a lot more powder than,
Right.
that's just loading a few rounds to go out to the range.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understand that, but at the same time, it'd be nice if they opened it up that I could, order. Paul needs an 8 pounder of Varget. Well, okay, I'll put it on order. We'll see when it comes in.
Right. And like I'm saying, I sit down and look at it, and I say, when I go to go varmint hunting, prairie dog shooting, I'm looking to make, 1,000 rounds. Okay. And if I'm dumping 33 grains of powder for 1,000 rounds, 1 pounders don't make sense. You know what I mean? Okay. They just don't. 8 pounders make sense because by the time I get through 1 pound of powder to do load development, or even part of a pound, I'm back to checking everything else out again on if I'm buying individual cans of 1-pounders.
I mean, pre-COVID, in the perfect when you could just walk in and basically get whatever powder you wanted.
Right.
I would, if I was trying out a new powder that I was unsure of, I would definitely buy a 1-pounder.
Oh, always did.
Yeah.
Always bought a 1-pounder, but I wanted to make sure that when I bought it, that there were 8-pounders or 4-pounders that were available.
Yeah.
It,
And I
it,
mean, the only time I really would not even bother with a 1-pounder is like when I got my first Lapua. Well, I knew Rotumbo was like a go-to powder for Lapua. So it's like, yeah, give me the 8-pound jug because I know I'm gonna burn through that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So you're sitting there going, I remember loading with a buddy of mine's 375 H&H. I mean, it was, okay, 2 dumps of the RCBS Charge Master, 1, 2, put it on the scale and weigh it, and then trickle up from there. And that was, I had bought 100 pounds of 4831 that was demilled. So God, I wish I still had it. I burned through it. Understand that, guys. I burned through 100 pounds of powder. Okay. So,
that is.
Well, heck, with the 190CXs where I loaded once I figured out the charge weight that was optimal, I only loaded. I was using that just a 1-pounder of H1000 before I crack open the 8-pounder. I figured I'd use the 1-pounder up that I was able to get, and that thing's almost gone after loading 30 rounds. It's like,
right.
wow, ain't much left in that 1-pounder.
Paul, what were you loading that powder into?
25 odd 6, 30 odd 6, and 270.
Okay, so
mostly
probably 55, 60
55,
grains.
60 grains of powder, yeah, on the average. So
that's almost 11,000 cartridges, Paul.
yeah.
Crikey. Because 100 pounds of powder is 700,000 grains of powder.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and you go out to prairie dog shoot, and you're sitting there going at 30 grains or 35 grains, a pop.
yep.
And you're sitting, it goes fast. So 8-pounders to me have been normal,
Yeah.
and you think it's bad there. Wait till you start when you go trap shooting 5 and 6 days a week.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So it was nothing to have 5 or 6 or 7 cans, 8-pound cans of Red Dot.
Yep. Lead Bullet Junkie said, even buying inflated prices on components, you're still saving half the cost of what factory wants for the stuff. 9 mil is $350 $1,000 right now, and he can load 9 mil for 12 cents a pop with his cast bullets in brass.
Sure.
Yep.
He's paying 2 cents for the powder, and he's paying 10 cents for the primer.
Yeah.
Okay. That's about what it works out to.
Yep.
AR Guns 1776 says, I wish Varget would drop in price. Ain't going to happen.
Oh.
We do not see that happening whatsoever. In fact, as Chris just said, he says expect to see a 20% increase in price.
Yeah, up to 10. They were saying 10 to 20 on select powders, but they didn't list which select powders. But let's be honest, it's going to be the ones that are most sought after from everybody because they can probably bank the most money on it.
Yeah, Regal Fraggle asked, what's the most versatile powder you guys use? He's got IMR 4227 is good for 4 of the 6 cartridges he loads.
I don't look at a versatile powder. I look at a powder that's optimal for the cartridge I'm going to shoot. there are powders out there that in fact, 48, yeah, 49.85 is probably or 48.95, excuse me, is probably the most forgiving powder in loading for 223 6 millimeter and 308. But it doesn't go any farther than that. And 308 is good. 6 millimeter 4350 does a whole lot better. And um, in in the 223 48.95 works really good with the heavier bullets. So and I don't like to use Varget in that. Varget will go to 308 for very hot loads that I'm not going to mention. You know, I'm talking 2,900 feet per second with a 155 grain bullet. Okay, if you guys can imagine that, and with SDs of 6. But no, there's not. And Chris will agree with me, and so will Mike. You get one powder for one load, for one cartridge. It may fit another one if it's close.
You may get lucky.
If you get lucky, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why they make so many different powders.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look at the two main cartridges I've been shooting a lot, the Pua and the 300 PRC, well, there's loads for Retumbo for both and H1000. But the Lapua with shooting the bigger, 285 to 300 grains, the Retumbo shoots a lot better than the H1000. With what I'm shooting for the 300 PRC, the H1000 shoots, so I'm like, Retumbo's for that, H1000's for that.
Right.
Could I, in a pinch, if I had to cross load and I've got loads for both, powders for each. But when one powder shoots better than the other, you go with that one and stick it to that rifle. Just like with the Creedmoor. I've got 4350 that shoots great in that thing. Varget, like you're saying, shoots in my 308.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be nice if there was a universal powder that I could use between, the 243 all the way up to the Lapua, but that just ain't going to happen.
Yep.
It'd be nice to just give me a friggin' 50 gallon jug of that. It'd be good.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's like I can use IMR 3031 for 223, 3030, 30 add 6. I think I can I can use it for 308 too. But
270
probably 303 British too. But just because I can doesn't mean it's the best for each application. So
I mean, as a reloader, don't get me wrong, I like having options. Because like when I did the test on those 190s, I used two different types of Vivority. I used H1000 and 4831 SC. All shot well, but the H1000 had the best.
Mm-hmm.
When you looked at, where the nodes were, what I was seeing, it was more consistent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it and for as slow as that powder is, you get a consistency out of it and you won't find the consistencies until you get to the higher pressures. I'm sorry. That's what I've found.
I see Spudman's comment. No, I've got it, but I haven't tried it yet. Because I think I even picked up 1 pounder of the I think it was 165, because they recommended there was at least good results for shooting 250 grains. I haven't had the time to get around and try it out. I think that's the one. But I know I do got from 570 or 565. Just haven't had time.
Yep.
Too many irons in the fire when you get all these different rifles.
Right.
D-Dubs 37. They have 15.5, reloader 15.5. You have to understand there's a whole big difference between reloader 15 and 15.5.
Mhm.
Not even in the same category, and don't work for some cartridges. The new powder does not work for some cartridges that does work for with 15. So don't just sit there because they put a 0.5 behind it that it's close to the same stuff, because it isn't.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Running with scissors, you can mix powder.
Just let us know so that way we can come
Yeah.
watch and flip to go. The
We
camera.
watch-
I like how he says some bold persons will attempt. I don't think it will be bold peoples.
Yeah, I just want that. I want to be there to have the high speed camera running
Mhm.
as it happens. Okay, so
Let's take the fastest powder and the slowest powder, and we're going to mix them together in equal amounts and see if we can get it to burn at the same rate as a medium powder.
that's right.
And no,
I'm willing to give him a cut of the money I win from America's Funniest Home Videos. I mean, saying.
Raggle Fraggle said, talk to Jerry Michalik for that. Running with scissors. So, yeah. Because it can't be any worse than the duplex loads for the 454 back in the day. That'd be fun. No. So
has anybody remembered Elmer Keith went and his with his duplex loads that he had for his 285 OKH
no.
or OHK?
No.
Yeah, he had duplex loads made up for that, and he went to the ultimate by actually drilling out the primer, the primer
Bucket.
opening,
Yeah.
and putting a tube in there that had little holes in it going up, and would load the slower powder first, and then load the fast powder on top. So the fast powder would work in reverse of what we see it as a load. So in other words, the flash would go up the tube, hit the faster powder, and then start to work on it. Start to work and build its pressure going up the other way. So it was very interesting of what they did as experiments in those days.
So basically, he was kind of trying to use the fast powder as more like a 4F on a priming pan.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, West Cahova Dodge. Yes, he did blew up quite a few guns.
Yeah.
But he was a character, so
That's probably where Paul Lau got his reloading experience from.
So. Yeah, I hate to say it, but those people who were talking about not wanting to pay $90 to $120 for primers and not wanting to pay $50 a pound for powder, you're going to have two choices.
yeah.
You're either going to have to buck up and pay it or stop hand loading. Because unfortunately, it's not like gas prices where they go back down when it costs less. No.
The only thing that's been good about this is that manufacturers of reloading equipment have made fantastic strides in getting this stuff out to us and improving the game.
Yep.
Okay. And we've been able to instead of spending our money on bullets and primers and powder and brass, we've been spending our money on dies and presses and auxiliary equipment to improve our reloading.
Yep.
So
And that's what I've been doing. I'm slowly, now that I've been doing this for a bit, I'm upgrading from good equipment to better.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So
So
And then I'll pass those cost savings off because as I upgrade, once I get that, auto trickle in, I'm going to throw my Chargemaster light up for sale at a obviously reduced cost. But here you go, pass it on to somebody else. Let them get into something
Sure.
better.
Yep.
sure.
so
But I'm not
Right.
going to sell it obviously before I get my the
No.
new stipend.
Yep.
No, I mean, but we sit down and we look at scales now that are, we even have manufacturers of, of RCBS and that, or bringing scales that are in in close to the $1,000 range now.
Mhm.
Before we had scales like this, we had, one other option for it, and what was the name of the powder measure that and scale that's out there? You don't buy them, you lease them. Um,
I
yeah,
know which one you're talking about.
I don't know.
yeah.
It's if it's the one I'm thinking, it's very high end, and then if you want to buy it, well, you'd probably be able to buy a truck cheaper than the scale.
Yeah.
Well, he has put them on sale now that you can
Oh,
buy them,
yes.
but originally but you're spending $4,000 to buy one.
Yeesh.
So, um, you know, uh, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but he was the first one and it's a balance beam scale. I mean, then he puts in there, and he's got it rigged up. Who knows how? And you actually have a magnifying glass to watch the scale line up to where it's supposed to be. So I'll mention it
Yep.
and get it together. But but you got $4,000 scale that was been around for a long time. Now we're seeing auto tricklers and that we're dealing with 1,000 to depending upon the scale that you put it underneath, the $1,200. Satoris is you can put a Satoris scale underneath it instead of FX, and you
Not
can
on the Auto Trickler 4 though.
not on the Auto Trickler 4.
No,
Okay.
He's only making it to go on the FX scales.
Okay. Well, he gets a deal because CE sells it, and they sell the.
Well, if you go to his actual YouTube channel, he actually gets into that. The reason why, because he used to do customs on like the V4, V3, but he said it just became such a pain in the backside because if you wanted it on this scale and you want it on this, he goes, I just said, I'm just going to go with this scale because a lot of people have it. That way, if they just want to buy the V4, it goes right on that scale. And he doesn't hold the scales in stock. He uses distributors that keep those supply of scales in stock to sell the actual V4 kits together, if you will. And he's got them all over the world set up. So,
yep.
Spudman 76 primers. What kind of shelf life they have?
If they're stored properly, they'll last you quite a while.
Put it this way. I have a couple of boxes of Magnum primers that I use for reloading some of my that are set up to reload, like 7 mag and that are marked
$19.12.
$10 a box, okay, of 1,000, and another one that's $7.60 1,000. So
I thought you were going to say they were manufactured in 1912 when you originally bought them.
Yeah, they probably were, but I just saying that, and they still work fine. So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I go through small rifle primers. I go through a lot. I try to buy, at least 10,000 every year to
Yep.
keep the stock up. Small pistol primers are really hard to find right now.
Yeah.
38 super loads. I still have some Remington 7.5s, maybe 2,000 7.5s left for my comp guns and 38 super. And if I remember right, with what was it, 3N38, I think it was. I'm pushing close with a 5.5 inch gun, close to 1,500 feet per second with a 115 grain bullet, which will make major.
Nice.
Yes, if only we had known.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is we should have learned. If you didn't learn from Sandy Hook, then you probably weren't paying attention. And there's been, my understanding is there's been quite a few times where you've had shortages and price increases. And so, I mean,
Well, and if we want to go down that little bit of a rabbit hole, let's take a look. You know, a lot of people, they voted against Trump just because they didn't like him. So you could kind of see they were starting to do whatever they can to get him out of office. So I started picking up little stuff here and there before I had my FFL and started getting it.
Yep.
I just was like, I'd go in it. I was like, well, I don't really need this box, but I know eventually I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to get it while it's on the shelf.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tom Gresham, even before Sandy Hook, was telling everybody, all of his listeners, I've been listening to Gresham. I mean, he's been doing it for 20, 25 years now, I think. I've been listening to him for probably 20 of it. And since I've been listening, he tells everybody, go buy a box every paycheck. Mm-hmm. Go buy your box of ammo. If you're a reloader, go buy some primers or powder every paycheck. You should be buying something. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's the thing. And we've sat on the soapbox here a few times and done it. And we don't do it on a regular basis, but, you know, it's a case of, you know, you've got two options. Well, you've got three options. You either were smart and stocked up and you're well stocked, or you're going to stop shooting, or you're going to pay the prices that there is now and stock up now. So
for the next one.
When the next one happens, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if you think it's if,
goes in cycles.
Yeah. Don't even worry about the cycles, guys.
Yep.
Set yourself a minimum of what you're going to have. I would sit down and say a minimum of 5,000 of each type of primer. Okay. Minimum. All right. So that's 20,000 primers without a problem. Okay. So you got to have 20,000 primers. Okay. If I'm going to store powder, I'm going to sit down and say, I want 40 or 50 pounds of powder to deal with whatever I'm dealing with, and have that all the time. Brass. Okay. It's hard to get nowadays. I used to be able to get good military brass for next to nothing. Free, unfired military brass for next to nothing. I mean, you know, now you pay the price. Lapua, Peterson, Alpha, whatever, you know, you're going to find brass from them.
Yep.
And so, and you can't, go ahead.
Start picking up brass at the range.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, there's still a lot of people that even if it's not an actual normal range, you know where the shooting locations are in your area. There's a lot of people that don't reload. They'll take that factory ammo, go shoot it, leave the brass sitting right there.
Yeah, I went a couple weeks ago. I could have literally spent 4 hours picking up pistol brass.
Sure.
I don't need to because
Yep.
I'm sitting on probably 10,000, between 40 and 9. I'm probably sitting on 10,000 pieces of brass. So, and especially with how much I shoot nowadays.
Well, and Paul, when you're talking about stocking up, it really also depends on what you're doing, because
Mhm.
you know Mike's stock up on components is going to be different than Travis, who shoots 3-gun.
Right.
He's going to obviously need a lot more because he's shooting competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
Travis
definitely.
is going to be different
Yeah.
than yours because
Yep.
you're shooting, you're going prairie dog hunting or elk hunting or,
Yep.
Whatever. And he's shooting competition. He's not going hunting.
Yeah. And the
So-
competitions I like are more your long range shots, which are not really shot intensive. I mean, most of them are about maybe anywhere from 80 to 120 rounds for the weekend.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot that goes into practice, but the actual competition is actually relatively low round count.
And make sure you buy EP Integrations and Neeler now because they could go up in price in the future.
Yeah.
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 I just said that because he just popped on the chat. So how's it going, Todd? West Covina Judge said flints are still cheap. True. So
If you talk to Jim, he'll teach you how to make your own and all that good stuff.
yeah.
When he was,
DWD37 said brass goblins are the same as golf ball goblins on the course. Yes and no. Part of it because the brass is usually a lot more usable that you find than the golf balls. Unless you're off wandering around in the rough, then you can find some really nice balls. But I mean, picking up brass, if you're not, if you're truly one of the true brass goblins, which Rob stopped by earlier, so thanks, Rob. That's Hunt Shoot Off Road. He actually has some brass goblin shirts. Swing by, get some from him. So they're pretty cool. Travis has got one. I don't know if anybody else on the podcast has one. I think Jim does. As I was saying, brass goblins, there's 2 levels of brass goblins. I mean, golf ball goblins usually are all the same. They don't really care no matter what. But there's 2 types of brass goblins. There's brass goblins, which are inconsiderate app holes, and they don't care. They'll walk around you while you're shooting, or they'll catch your brass out of midair. And then there's the nice brass goblins who actually ask you, hey, are you collecting that? So try and be the latter, not the former. Or if you're like me and you want to collect brass, you know that 2:00 on Tuesday afternoon, there's nobody at the frickin' range and you can go and nobody's going to bother you for like 3 hours.
Uh-huh.
There you go. So,
and you'd be surprised a lot of indoor ranges don't let you even pick up your own brass.
Yep.
Nope.
Even some of the outdoor ranges are like, nope, you leave it there on the ground.
Yeah. A lot of those ranges now have figured out, oh crap, we can make money off this.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So make sure you check your range first before you go shooting. If it's an outdoor range, I'm spoiled. I have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different ranges I could go to in the area. So I don't have to worry about that. Plus, none of our ranges are jerk offs like that where you can't pick up your brass. And just like EP Integration said, any ranges that don't let me pick up my brass is a range that I'm not shooting at. So,
see, I'm truly spoiled. I got my own range set up on my property, and then
I know you do.
I shoot long distance. I just go to the state property about 6 miles away.
Yep. But there are ways to catch your brass.
Yep.
I mean, Caldwell makes a few different range catchers or brass catchers that are designed for AR use. But if you are handy, you can figure out a way to use them for pistol. So, but
yeah.
and then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I mean, come on, West Covina Dodge. That's kind of a separate case. He says anybody who touches my 577 450 brass is looking for trouble. Yeah, it's got to be kind of hard to figure out whose that is. Who's the guy with the shoulder cannon? That'd be the guy that the arm drooping like this. It doesn't even look like it's connected anymore. That's the guy with the 577. So, Anyway, all right, gang. This one went really long. Part of it because we did a lot of bull crapping and good stuff, but
well, we had Sharenda, who's left us, you know, show us.
She did that which was awesome.
You know, the awesomeness of the reloading
RCBS.
Industry.
Yeah.
To help people.
Yeah.
You know, and to get more people involved.
Yeah.
And when they donate, you know, close to $2,000 worth of supplies to get people into something, I got to give them a hand. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really do. And
yeah. I mean, that's huge. Shout out to RCBS.
Right.
That's definitely, companies like that are definitely ones you want to get behind because they're trying to promote the industry.
Yep.
You got it, you know, and you know, we've had other things, you know, we gave away a Dylan 650 on this on our channel here, and we've given away other things.
I've got a bunch more stuff to give away, but I've actually got two powder throwers. I got a Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper, which was donated to the podcast by Drew, one of our listeners, and then I have a Lyman number 6, which was donated by another person, and I don't remember off the top of my head, and the box is back there buried. So, but I want to get caught up. The reason I haven't done the giveaways is because we need to get the audio caught back up, so that we're not running into the problem we did with the giveaway that Chris did. Which reminds me, Chris, when we get caught back up, we got to do a drawing for another one.
Okay.
Off everybody else who's commented on that post, because that's what I said when we got the first couple complaints. I said, we're going to do another one, so go comment. Okay. So once we get caught back up, then we'll do another drawing and I'll buy another one and send it out. So I did want to mention, since I talked about buying another EP integrations annealer, he says he chuckled on that. He said our annealer price isn't going up anytime soon. Sitting on literally thousands of parts. We're trying to plan ahead. We're getting lockdown blocks anodized soon. So if you are looking for an annealer, they do have an awesome one. So
great.
And I'm actually looking at buying a couple of his lockdown blocks.
Yeah.
Because I mean, looking at what's out there for the same quality level.
Yep.
He's the only one that I'm seeing that makes it, that would cover every cartridge that I load, and I wouldn't have to buy specific cartridge ones to hit that quality. It's
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
so.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, just.
But I mean, this is what we have in our industry, and you know, in our hobbies that we, you know, that support our hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we support them too, because we are buying, you know, products from them. But I'd really got to give a shout out to RCBS for you know, just really bending over backwards. I thought it was just one press, and I'm sitting there going,
right,
okay, yeah. Even still, you know, it's still $1,000 press, but
then they've got a whole other setup for the single stage.
Stage, yeah. All of a sudden, you know, there's powder scales and
I thought that was the nice thing. It gave you both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
right.
Progressive to single, and
right.
Like, that's pretty cool, because not everybody wants to jump into a progressive, especially starting right off.
Not everybody should.
Ever. Oh yeah, and I mean, some
even
people
even a 550, not everybody should.
Yeah,
because they don't have the. They haven't developed the ability to concentrate and focus. They're still in squirrel mode, and you can't. Ooh. You need to come back on and show that one off. So the guys and gals in the chat are talking about the EP Integration's universal lockdown trays, they're universal trays. So basically, what it is, we've had them on before. We'll have them on again, definitely. Is they have it's literally a single tray that you can pretty much put any piece of brass into, and it adjusts and adapts. Now, obviously, it's one cartridge at a time. It's not like you can put a 9, a 40, 45, 38, 357. Well, 38 and 357 you could, but 22, you can't put a whole bunch of different cartridges, but you can put a whole bunch of one cartridge. When you're done with that, you can switch and do a different cartridge. So, but they're coming on a Cerakote red, white, and blue lockdown block. So the top plate's going to be red, middle's going to be white, and the bottom's going to be blue. That's going to look awesome.
Down. It locks the cases down. You can't.
I won't lie, Mike. When I originally saw the raw ones doing what I do for Cerakote, I was like, I wonder what crazy stuff I could do with one of those. I mean, I've got the equipment, so try this color, try this, and then they're like, I don't like it. Okay, blast it down and start over.
Yep.
The wife kind of wouldn't like that because the budget for the business would go through the roof of, how come you're ordering $1,000 of Cerakote every month? Well, I didn't like this color. I'm changing it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the wife would not appreciate that.
No.
So, but yeah, what Paul's saying is it locks it down. Like you could literally, like I've got a loading block here with 30 brass in it. I'm not going to take it, pick it up, and turn it over.
Well, and the thing is, if the listeners want to see what we're talking about, just go on to YouTube. Todd's made some videos that shows all how you can loosely lock it, or you can lock it tightly where you can flip that tray right up and nothing's falling out.
Yep. He's saying just under 223 diameter casings, all the way up to 375 Shytech.
That's a
huge cartridge. Range.
Yeah, that's a little cartridge, that 375 Shytech.
Yeah.
Just a baby. It's just a wee little baby.
Well, and you think about when you start getting above that 375, now you're talking your King or your 2 miles specialty stuff, and you're going to have to buy probably a certain press for that because not every press is going to be able to load that type of round.
Yeah, you're not going to want to load that on. You're not going to want to load that on.
That's why they make the Mighty Mike press. Yeah. That's the press you use to reload for that stuff.
Yep. So Todd, when you get that done, you need to come on and show it off. All right.
Yep.
You know how to get a hold of me. We'll make it happen. So what Todd said is he usually locks down the casing when he's dropping powder and then feather it off with seating bullets. So what he's saying is you can adjust the tension. So anyway. Ooh. Now he just made a post that will happen next time he's on the show. But one night promo code for the channel. So we'll make that happen when he's on the show next. So we'll announce in advance when Todd's going to be on the show, and then we'll let you know. So
and we'll announce on Discord, Facebook, and MeWe.
Yep, and probably put a post out on Instagram too. So
and I just want to thank Todd in advance because now I'm going from buying 2 to probably 4 of those blocks. Thank you very much for spending more of my money.
That's good. So DWD37 wants to know if you're still working on a plastic version, Todd. So we'll have to see if he does answer that back. In the meantime, if you're looking for gun building stuff, etc., great optics, other options, swing over to Primary Arms. Todd's like the rest of us. He loves spending your money, Chris.
Yeah.
So,
not that it takes a lot of arm twisting, but
right. And he says he has a plastic prototype, so he's working on it. So, but like I said, swing over to Primary Arms, check them out. Code FRN. They haven't announced what the September thing is going to be. The August was a cleaning kit if you bought an optic. So they got a bunch of different sales going on. They've got the end of summer sale going right now, so lots of cool stuff there. Remember, they got a bunch of clothing and stuff too. Nobody thinks about that. So, ooh, that's not a bad price.
See, now I'm looking at Todd's last comment. When he comes on, he's going to show the prototype, and he's got other things in the works. Now I'm intrigued.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're in trouble.
Wonder if
In
the
other
wife
words-
will let me take out a second mortgage.
Probably not.
You can try to trade her in.
Wait, what?
Okay, you've seen my wife, Paul.
No, he
I'm married above my pay grade. I'm not going to trade that.
way outkicked its coverage.
Well, we know that. I mean, she's your better 3/4, but
Yeah.
Aero Precision
that's why you
upper,
get good. Go ahead.
Aero Precision assembled upper right now for the end of summer sale, $74.99.
What?
Aero Precision assembled AR-15 upper receiver, $74.99.
That's cheap.
That is cheap.
Yeah.
That is.
I mean, I'm an Aero dealer, and I'm trying to go through I'm like, could I price? No. I mean, unless I was like a top tier dealer where I'm ordering tens of thousands a month, I'm like, I can't price it for that much.
Right.
Especially if I have to assemble it and all that, because they're probably getting it direct already assembled. So
yeah. So there you go. There's your nugget. Obviously, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, that sale has ended. I'm sorry. Should have tuned in for the live. Anyway, actually, what you should get in the habit of doing is you should just get in the habit of going to Primary Arms every couple of days and checking the sales.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And sign up for their email.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, other sponsor of the podcast is Patriot Patch Company. I just got my new patches in the mail. So yes, I said patches.
Plural.
So we have Justice.
Oh.
Holding a 1897 trench gun with a bayonet. You'll notice says Justice across the knuckles. You'll notice there is a blindfold because true justice is blind. And then, keeping in the September Liberty theme, we've got Lady Liberty with NVGs. And I didn't look close enough to see if it was an M1A or an M14. I'm guessing with the Woodstock, it's probably an M14.
Well, it could be. I don't see a selector switch there, but it could be hidden there.
Yeah.
But he's still got a bunch of stuff hanging on it. Looks like he's got
I think that's a laser designator, but I'm not sure.
He's got a laser designator, a light.
Yeah.
He's all rigged out there.
Yep. Good to go.
I should say she is.
Hey, Mike.
Yes. Yeah.
Todd said in the chat, give him 1 minute for something special.
Ooh. All right. So, CSR Industries was commenting on your comment about Aero. He said that's why a lot of dealers dropped Aero. Yeah. I mean,
I'll be honest. I still stay as a dealer mainly because a lot of the stuff I build for myself.
Right. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I'm also still intrigued where their bolt actions are coming out.
I'm waiting
at some point. I kind of want to see what they're about.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that.
Yeah.
They're talking, in the under $900 range.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm like you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of actions, something that's coming out is who was it? The Bighorn Zermatt Arms is coming out with a titanium version, short, medium, and long range, or long action. So
nice.
That should be
Bighorn. That's the one that makes that 500 Smith lever.
So listeners, Todd or Mike, Todd just posted a code.
Yes. So right now, from now until 9/9, Reloading
3
Podcast
days.
code will take $15 off an EP 2.0 annealer. Right now until 9/9. So
3 days. Today's the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Okay.
Yep.
And the code is Reloading
Reloading
Podcast,
Podcast.
all one word.
All capitals.
Yep.
I don't think the capitals makes a difference, but Reloading Podcast, all one word.
I think that's pretty cool. Thank you, Todd.
Definitely.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Todd. Thank you very much.
We'll have to get that posted on the Discord channel, Facebook, all that. So, because we know this might be a little bit behind, so that might get it out too.
Working on Discord right now.
It's in Discord now.
All right, then. There we go. All right.
So
we'll see how long his in stock parts last now, which is a good thing for Todd.
Hey, if we could sell that out for Todd, I would be happy. That'd be awesome.
Yep. I wouldn't shed a tear if we sold it out for Todd. I'd be like, good. It's a good product.
Yep.
You get it in people's hands. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So. All right, gentlemen.
Yeah.
2.5 hours. We've been on here, and we've had some good stuff tonight. And
yes,
we've had a lot of good questions from the Munchkins on the right-hand side. So
yeah. So absolutely, it's been a pleasure. Also nice when we can get people stop by, say hi. So.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what we can do for you, Todd.
Yeah. So. All right, gang. Remember to swing by Primary Arms. Remember to swing by Patriot Patch Company, patriotpatch.co. And also remember to swing by EP Integrations. Check out what they've all got. So,
and
got some cool stuff now, and got some even cooler stuff coming. So, if you're into tinkering and building yourself, keep in mind EP Integrations still has the original EP 1.0 parts list and everything still on their page, on their website. So that's the one where they tell you what they built it with and then tell you how to build it. So, but it's much easier just to buy the 2.0 because it's already built.
Yeah.
So, but all right. So shout outs to EP Integrations for the coupon code, good till 9/9. So if you're watching this or listening to this after 9/9, I'm sorry. And shout out to RCBS once again for big step up to helping out Wild Her Ness. So that's Wild Her Ness is the name of the 501c3 that Sharonda's got with a few others. It's all over Facebook and everything. If you really want to get information and you can't find it, shoot us an email, reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Or send us a message or a text 608-467-0308. Todd said the DIY is not adjustable like the 2.0, so that's the other drawback to that. Yeah. The 2.0, like I said, just order the 2.0. It's a huge,
it's easier, just
huge upgrade.
Right.
So,
and I got to thank you for coming on and being part of the show here. And
yeah.
And the so yeah. So as I say, I'm going to go first tonight. Wow. Grandpa told me that don't listen to your mother. Violence does solve problems.
And shoot smarter, not harder.
And we'll pull one out of the old safe there. Breast prep sucks. That's a nod to the Canuckian from up north there, Trevor, the fur latte. So, all right, gang. If you're struggling, remember 988 or 1-800-273-8255. It's the same place. 988 is just quicker. They are there to help. They're here to get you guided to the assistance that you can use to get better. I'm not going to say everybody struggles, because, there are a few people that just zip through life and are oblivious and don't seem to ever really have any issues. And maybe they do deep down and they just hide it well. But mental health is a serious thing to worry about. And you got to take care of your mental health as much, if not more, than your physical health, King. So, reach out. It's not a sign of weakness to reach out and ask for help. It's a sign of weakness to not ask for the help and take the easy way out. So we want you here. We need you here. Thanks, and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night.